Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back at you with another top 10 list, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 horror movies from the 2010s. So stuff from 2010 right up to now. So we're talking really modern stuff here, guys. And this is actually a video response to Clive Craven. If you're not subscribed to him, which chances are you quite possibly aren't, he's fairly new to the horror community, but I definitely recommend giving him a sub. He's got some fantastic videos posted, he's got a really solid collection, and he's got some damn awesome horror figurines. So definitely check him out. Channel link will be left in the description box. So yeah, he did a pretty awesome video where he talked about his top 10 favourite horror movies from the year 2010 up until now. Pretty cool idea, I thought, and I definitely wanted to respond. I'm having a lot of fun doing these top 10 lists, and yeah, quite an interesting topic. I wasn't actually aware that there was so many good movies that came out over the past 3 years, especially in 2010. Fuck, that was an awesome year for horror. But anyway, before I get into my official list, I'm really wanting to give two honourable mentions. They didn't quite make the top 10, but I definitely thought they were worth quickly mentioning. The first one is Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. This is really good, fantastic actually, modern haunted house film. It's kind of a PG-ish, I can't talk. It's kind of a PG rated horror movie, but I thought it was really good for that. Very effective, really creepy, especially the second half of the movie. It's got a really solid cast. It's got Guy Pearce, and I can't remember the girl's name, but she played the little girl in Bridge to Terabithia. But this is fantastic. Definitely recommend it. And the next one, which I thought was pretty important, I gave a mention, is Chernobyl Diaries from last year. Now this movie got shitted on big time, and all the hate kind of put me off checking it out. I finally did, and I'm so glad I gave it a shot, because I thought this was really good, great in fact, and I really don't get the hate behind it. So if you've been kind of sitting on the fence wondering if you should check this out, I highly recommend it. Certainly one of the better horror movies to come out last year, if not the best one, and certainly so much better than that terrible Cabin in the Woods. But Chernobyl Diaries didn't make my top 10, but I felt it was deserving of an honourable mention. Alright, now on to the top 10, so no particular order. First up we're going to mention John Carpenter's The Ward. Now this is another one that gets kind of mixed reviews. A lot of people hate it. I don't know why. I thought this was a fantastic return for Carpenter, and kind of a little homage to a lot of his classic horror movies. Is it as good as his classic stuff? Certainly not, but it is far from his worst movie, and I would probably go as far to say I would probably put this in my top 5 John Carpenter films actually. I thought it was fantastic. Fairly original for a modern horror. I loved the hospital or asylum setting. There was some great twists throughout. Pretty creepy, some good atmosphere. So that's The Ward. The next one is Red Ink. Now I have mentioned this a few times in some recent videos, but I definitely wanted to include it in this one. Fantastic modern Australian horror movie. Definitely recommend it, and very original. This one is about a group of half a dozen people that were involved in a court case. The criminal that's been charged kidnaps them, chains them to an office desk, and basically forces them to try and work out a way for him to get off the charges. Great gore effects in this one, just really good. Another Australian horror is The Reef. This is fantastic, and this is actually one of my all-time favourite Australian horror movies, and in my opinion the best shark movie since Jaws. I wouldn't say it's slow going, but it's certainly not action packed or anything. but it flows really well. It's very simplistic. They use real sharks in this one, and it is pretty suspenseful and has a lot of tension to it. So if you're a fan of shark films, The Reef comes highly recommended. The next one's a fairly underrated slasher movie from 2012. It's an independent slasher called The Sleeper. If you're a fan of 70s, 80s classics like Black Christmas and House on Sorority Road, this is definitely for you. This is a great homage to those films about a group of sorority sisters who are targeted by a killer. Really great movie. It is so well done. Fantastic 80s throwback. It really feels like a genuine 80s slasher film. I really liked the killer. Good mix of kills. You know, there's some fairly simple and classic style ones, and then there's some nice sort of gory ones as well. So The Sleeper, awesome film. The next one is The Last Exorcism, and this one was a real surprise. I heard a lot of mixed things on it, and I thought this was absolutely fantastic, and it genuinely scared me in parts, which a lot of horror movies don't do, but this one certainly did it. This is my favourite exorcism film. Yes, I do prefer it over The Exorcist. I just thought that this was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. So The Last Exorcism. The next one is another independent, low-budget slasher film, and that is The Orphan Killer. This is a fantastic film. It's certainly not for everyone because there are quite a bit of religious undertones to this one, but there are some fantastic gore effects. I love the killer, Marcus Miller. He makes an awesome killer. Got a pretty interesting storyline. Marcus grew up in an orphanage and he's basically come back to track down his sister. But yeah, fantastic movie. Highly recommend it. And a massive thank you to Luke for sending me this movie and telling me about it, because it's friggin' awesome. So that is The Orphan Killer. Another slasher, quite a few slashers, which is good because I love them. Next up we have an Asian slasher movie, Dream Home. Now this movie is frigging awesome. I absolutely love it. Easily one of my all-time favourite modern slashers. Awesome kills. Probably the most realistic looking kills that I have ever seen in a slasher movie. This movie is fucking brutal, and it's got a pretty good storyline, although I'm not a massive fan of the way that it's told. But anyway, slasher fans, you definitely need to check this one out. This one is about a woman who's obsessed with owning a Waterview property, and she's really struggling to find it. She's trying to hold down several different jobs to afford it. She really can't, so basically she has the notion if she can't get a Waterview apartment, then no one can. She basically goes on a killing spree. Awesome kills, as I said. Friggin' fantastic movie, Dream Home. The next one is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. This is a horror comedy, but I kind of classify it as a reverse style slasher, and what I mean by that is it's definitely set up to be a slasher movie, except the kills are not what you expect. It's the kills, there is a body count in this one, there's kills and stuff, but the victims end up killing themselves. That's kind of all I want to say, just in case people haven't seen it. Great comedy elements blended with horror, and there's some awesome kills. Definitely check this one out if you haven't. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. We're down to the final two, and we're going to end this video with two more slashers. The next one is Stitches. I think this one came out last year, but it got a Blu-ray DVD release this year, so I can classify this as a 2013 movie. One of my favourite movies of the year so far. This movie I absolutely loved. Now, I'm not big into comedy horror, but I felt they got the elements perfect with this one. Ross Noble plays the clown Stitches, and he did a fantastic job with this. Not a massively high body count, but the kills certainly more than make up for that. The kills in this are frigging crazy. They are awesome. I absolutely love them. Great effects. Kind of a mix of CGI and practical effects in this one. But if you're looking for a really fun slasher movie or a killer clown movie, definitely check Stitches out. Great little slasher from Ireland. So yeah, love this one a lot. And last, but certainly not least, probably my favourite modern slasher of all time, Hatchet II. I have talked about this movie several times in previous videos, so I'm not going to go on too much about it. Most of you know my opinions on this, but I fucking love this movie. I think it is pretty much the perfect modern slasher. Great throwback to 80s slashers, Friday the 13th in particular. Amazing gore effects, insane kills. Love the kills in this one. Awesome cast. Probably one of my all-time favourite casts for a slasher. It has Tony Todd, Tom Holland, who directed Child's Play. He was fucking awesome in this one. And of course, my favourite Scream Queen, Danielle Harris. So yeah, great cast. This is just a damn good modern slasher. It's kind of underrated because a lot of people talk about the first Hatchet, but never really seem to talk about this one too much. But this one is so much better than Hatchet 1. So yeah, Hatchet 2 is amazing and was definitely one of my most easiest picks for this list. And I really cannot wait for Hatchet 3, which comes out this August. So that's going to be awesome. But Hatchet 2, love it. It is amazing. Alright, so that has been this video for my top 10 favourite horror movies from the 2010s. Definitely let me know what you think of the picks. Let me know what some of your favourites are. And definitely head on over and subscribe to Clive Craven if you haven't already. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching.